morning, class 12, chapter number 4, Elasticity of Demand, which is showing the law of demand, which is showing only the direction is not enough. We need to know degree of responsiveness with respect to price of the commodity, income of the consumer, and price of other commodity. There are different types of price elasticity. First one is perfectly elastic, which is showing the value of elasticity is infinity. That means price remain constant, demand keep on increasing and increasing. Next one is perfectly inelastic. It's showing that demand is constant even if price changing. Another is relatively inelastic. That means hospital, medical and food clothes, which hardly increases that much even if the price decreases too much. Next one is relatively elastic. TV, computer, house, gems. We can see a little bit of change in price. You can see immense change in quantity. And there is another which is very hypothetical, where demand changes exactly same percentage as the change in price, which is very, very hypothetical, doesn't exist. The method of finding out price elasticity are arc elasticity, which we also call total expenditure method or total outlay method. What? Outlay method. Outlay method, point elasticity or geometric method, next percentage or proportionate method. And we are going to do it at length because this is something which we are going to use for the numerical solution. But these two also we need to know. Now, let me draw a demand curve and show you that how you have to find out this point elasticity and arc elasticity. This is the demand curve where I have already drawn the axis, price axis and quantity axis, as you know. Now, each point on this demand curve showing different kind of elasticity. And when we find out this point elasticity, we have to find out the point elasticity of each curve. So now for point elasticity, let us find point elasticity first. For point elasticity, the formula is lower segment, you just have to use the formula, segment divided by upper segment. So you must be wondering, what is this all about? So now let's see, the lower segment of A is AD and the upper segment of A is AD dash. Now upper segment is AD dash and lower segment is AD. While looking at the diagram, we get to know that this must be more than 1, isn't it? So you can say this is more elastic, or you can say it is more relatively elastic. So you can say it is more elastic or relatively elastic. That is how we normally see the diagram, and we check out the points. Now for the arc elasticity, suppose there are 2 points A to A dash. Now this particular segment, when we find out the elasticity of this particular segment, we call it as arc elasticity. Discuss arc elasticity method, or as we say, this is also called total expenditure method or total outlay method. What is total expenditure? Total expenditure is equal to price into quantity. Now suppose the price initially it was 60 and price has declined 10, that means 50. Quantity demanded, or definitely it's going to change, as you know. So quantity demanded, it was 10 before, now it has increased. Definitely it will increase because as we know, price increases, your demand normally decrease, and price decreases, your demand increase. So since the price decreases, demand will definitely increase, but demand has increased only 1. So now total expenditure, 60 into 10 is how much? 600. 50 into 11 is 550. So here you have seen the total expenditure has fallen. That's why this is called less than 1, because it has fallen. So elasticity will be less than 1. So less than 1 means what elasticity? It is inelastic. It is inelastic. So let's follow a table showing change in price. Let's see what are the types of elasticity it follows. Now, change in price, either it will be fall in price or rise in price. Now, when it is fall in price, if it is unit elasticity means same changes. So, total expenditure remain constant. Obviously, a constant, because as the price changes, quantity of demand will change in the same direction or same percentage. That's why your total expenditure remain constant. But for inelasticity, as we have seen here, total expenditure will fall. You have seen total expenditure has fallen. And for elastic, fall in price, elastic case, definitely when you fall the price, your quantity demand will be high and high. So that's why your total expenditure will be high. Now, rise in price. As you know, if it is unit elasticity, it will be constant. And how it will affect total expenditure if there is rise in price? Definitely, since you are not bothered that much of price, so your quantity demand will keep on increasing or it will remain same, but your price has increased. That's why this will be affected. That's why total expenditure will be high. Whereas since it is elastic, so if the price rises, definitely people will demand less, so total expenditure will fall. Percentage method, EP, that means price elasticity. As we know, percentage change in quantity with respect to percentage change in price. Now, please remember with me, as I'm telling you, that again repeat with me. Remember, okay, maybe I'll be remembering with you, of course. Percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price. Now, as you know, change in economics, and we have got it from your calculus maths, del is called change. So now, rather than writing this, can't you write this percentage change in quantity? Yes. So what is del Q? You know that. We have done it for marginal utility. Del Q is Q1. Q1 is price, present price. Q0 is past price. Del P is the change in price. That means present price minus past price. You know this. So how to find out percentage of del Q? How to find out percentage of del Q? As you know, the way you normally find out the percentage, isn't it? This is the way you find out the percentage. So that is Q minus Q naught or Q0 for del Q. And for percentage, what you have done, divided by previous year quantity into 100. And this is what? P1, P0, P0 into 100. So instead of this, can't we write like this? Yes, please keep doing this sum with me so that you'll get the practice as well. And this 100 gets cancelled. So you got interesting formula which are going to use for the numericals which I have given in the worksheet. Please do practice and try. This, instead of writing this, what we can write this. So we can write del Q upon del P into this. And always remember, this value will be negative. As you know, whenever price increases, demand decrease. Whenever price decreases, demand increase. And what kind of relationship is that? Yes, students, it's inverse. So since it is inverse relationship, that's why it's always negative. This is the formula which you are going to use. We have done price elasticity. We will be studying income elasticity and cross elasticity. Income elasticity tells us the type of nature of the commodity. If the commodity is necessary commodity, then we call it as income inelastic. If it is luxurious commodity, we call it as income elastic. and the procedure is same. Only thing is that in place of price, you need to convert it with income. Now, cross elasticity tells us the percentage change in quantity with respect to percentage change of price of other commodity. And if the relationship is positive, it is substitute tea and coffee, and if it is negative, then it is complementary, like petrol and car. And if it is unrelated, then it will be zero, like car and salt. That's all for today. God bless you. Please complete your worksheet. Thank you.